But if it does, I won't be knocking it back.
All right, ladies. Mail. Stokes.
Oh, great. Come.
Kent.
Oh, God, it's from my mum. Always preaching at me.
Yeah, well, she left it a bit late, didn't she?
Young. And Burns.
Oh, where'd that be from?
I don't know. Thanks, Mr. Fletcher.
Right, that's it, ladies.
From her husband, you reckon?
Yeah, well, he hasn't been writing to her.
Well, it could be from. Dora doesn't usually get letters.
You going to play or not, Lil?
Oh, right. Got a drink in here. Come on. Here. What do you want? 5. Is it?
Just got...
I've heard it.
Okay.
How's the lunch?
Well, it's good enough for the prisoners, so of course it's good enough for the officers. I hate the way everything's changing.
What do you mean?
Well, when I first started in the service, the idea was to make sure criminals were punished. Nowadays, we have to bend over backwards to make sure they're happy.
Listen, if a more liberal approach works, I'm all for it. I'm for anything that eases the strain a bit.
Well, this visiting suite nonsense will just cause more. You just wait and see.
Yeah, I must admit I've got my doubts about it. Sounds all very well in theory, but will it work?
You know what they're like. They end up abusing every privilege they get.
Staff room. Yes, Julie. All right, I'll be right there. Ken Pierce has arrived for his visit. I have to search him. Will you get Smith?
Oh, would have been nice to be able to finish this lunch. Enjoy yourself.
Good to see you again, P.
Hello, Ken.
You look terrific.
I did the best with what I had, which wasn't much to start with. Well, you want to go inside?
Yeah. I brought someone else to see you. You know, B, with your interest in prisoners' rights, you ought to try doing the same sort of work as me when you're released.
Oh, that's a bit far away to worry about, don't you think?
No. You'll find the time passes much more quickly when you're planning for the future. Now, you could do more than any screw or social worker to help the prisoners. I mean, you know their problems from personal experience. That makes a hell of a difference.
Yeah, I suppose it would.
And there's no university course could teach what you know about prisons. And you've done a great job in here as top dog. And you could do equally as good a job for the women once you're outside.
Things change, Ken, even in here.
Well, some things ought to be changed. Dad and I were searched before we were allowed to see you. And they made a very thorough job of it, too. Leave you without any dignity.
Lousy pigs. What did they think you were going to do? Smuggle the keys to the front gate into me or something?
Look, I expected it. I'm used to being searched by the screws. It doesn't worry me anymore.
Well, it sure worries me. Look, I can't thank you enough for what you did for me, B. When I think I could have ended up in a place like this.
Yeah.
Well, at least we've got these unsupervised visits. That's one hell of a breakthrough.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Sorry, time's up.
Bye, B. I wish you were able to come to my wedding.
Yeah, so do I. Good luck for the future, Dom.
Thanks.
You keep up the good work, eh? I'll be back to see you as soon as I can.
Yeah, sure.
You and your daughter will have to report back to reception.
Why's that?
You have to be searched.
Oh, look, I'm not going through that again. It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, we have to follow orders.
Go on, Debbie. While we're here, we may as well do it their way.
How was it then? Did you get what you were after? Was it worth what you did to us?
It was all right. It was unsupervised.
Oh, only all right, was it? Bit of a disappointment, eh?
It was no funny business. He had his daughter with him.
Oh, what did he do that for?
I suppose he thought I might like to see her.
So you missed out, did you? No satisfaction, eh? Oh, that's what I call poetic justice. She sells out her mates and gets nothing back anyway. Oh, it's bloody lovely.
Disappointed you didn't find anything?
As I told you, I'm just doing my job.
Yes, of course.
Sign out before you leave.
Tell me, Mr. Fletcher, why don't you attend the PRG meetings any longer? You were interested enough in the welfare of Jackie Nolan to ask for help. Don't you think their other aims deserve your support?
Well, it's a bit awkward. Membership of the PRG could be seen as compromising my position as a prison officer.
Well, Mrs. Davison doesn't seem to think so. She's a member. What really matters is how strongly you feel about prison reform.
Look, if the day ever comes when prisons are no longer necessary, I can assure you I won't regret losing my job.
But you're not very interested in helping along the way, eh?
No, I didn't say that. Here's your daughter. Make sure you sign out before you leave.
I can't wait to get out of here.
Thanks, mate.
I don't ever want to have to go through that again. Visiting anyone here just isn't worthwhile.
It is to the prisoners.
I can sure understand how Mum feels now, though, why she's so dead against your work.
Well, she just didn't understand how important the work was.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
My name's Gray. I'm a reporter. I'm doing a follow-up story to the one on conjugal visits at Wentworth. You've just been visiting, have you?
Yes, that's right.
A conjugal visit?
Unsupervised, if that's what you mean. My daughter and I were visiting a close friend.
Oh. Who was that?
B. Smith.
B. Smith. I remember a story on her a while back.
Yes, I remember that story, too. It was a pack of lies. Look, if you want to know more about this visiting scheme, why don't you talk to the governor, Mrs. Davison?
I've already spoken to the department. But don't worry, this story will be in a positive vein. We want to do all we can to help with prison reform.
And well, I'm all for that.
Dad's one of the leading lights of the PRG.
Really? Could I have your name, sir?
Look, it's Ken Pierce, but I think that's beside the point. Look, if you're really interested in helping prisoners, you should point out what a morale booster this scheme is. Make it a story from the point of view of the prisoners rather than giving, well, more kudos to the department.
Yeah, we'll do that all right. I can work up a good story with the information you've given me. Thanks a lot, Mr. Pierce.
That'll be terrific if the papers support the scheme.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you up to?
Oh, you've spoiled it.
Spoiled what?
Well, I got up early to get your breakfast, and I'm going to bring it to you in bed.
Oh, that's a lovely thought, but whatever for?
Well, to celebrate your first day at the new job.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
You see, you should have stayed in bed.
What? And end up being late on my first day at work?
Well, anyway, you better have it. Go on.
Right, have you got your own ready?
Almost.
Oh, well, I'll go out and finish cooking.
No, you won't. You'll sit down and eat.
All right,
So you
all
go-
right. I don't mind being waited on hand and foot.
Oh, by the way, Meg, I'm going to have a business dinner later in the week. Do you think you'll be available?
Of course I will. Not only to attend, but to cook it. And I'll make something extra special.
Good on you.
What have you got this scandal rag for? It's not your style.
You can say that again. The company's running an advertisement in each of those papers. I want to check that they're in there.
Can't see it.
I must be there somewhere.
Oh, no.
Well, they haven't made that much of a mess of it, have they?
Oh, look at this. It's about Wentworth. Look at the headline. Love nest for jailbirds.
There must be things going on there you haven't told me about.
Oh, this is dreadful. They talk about the visiting suite as a service station.
Well, you said yourself it was a rag. Where'd they get their information from?
That's what I'd like to know. They talk about Ken Pierce visiting B. Smith and make all sorts of nasty implications.
If Erica isn't careful, she'll find herself being referred to as Madam Erica.
It's not funny, Bob. There'll be repercussions about this.
Oh, come on, Meg. Who takes any notice of what they say?
Well, the department, for one thing, they'll hate it. Got a feeling my first day back at Wentworth will see some fireworks.
Oh, you ought to see this.
You took your time going to the loo?
I stopped to get the papers. You want to read the story in Verity. Oh, it's a wonder they didn't censor it. It's all about B and Ken.
What?
Yeah, about him visiting you. Makes it sound as though you really got up to tricks.
We're not talking to her.
You talked to her yesterday when it suited you, and I can talk to her whenever I want.
Let me see that.
Look, love nest for jailbirds. Makes us sound as though we're a bunch of tarts, turning it on for any bloke who cared to call in.
Here, look at this bit.
Double murderess B. Smith and well-known prison activist Ken Pierce were left unsupervised to enjoy the so-called conjugal rights of the new visiting suite commonly referred to as the Wentworth Love Nest.